You are now listening to Hoardganize with professional organizer and extreme cleaner Rachel Seavey. Every Sunday at 6 p.m., Rachel shares organizing tips and hacks. Rachel combines her experience, expertise, and compassion to help people learn new methods on how to deal with overwhelming clutter. Her media appearances include The Hoarders Show, the CBS Sunday Morning Show, and the Lady Brain Show. Take it away, Rachel.
Hey, collectors, and thanks again for that super duper intro, Super Dave. You are listening to the Hoardganize podcast. I am your host, Rachel Seavey. I am a professional organizer and extreme cleaner, and we're on episode number 3, which is deciding what to sort. This is a question that I love. It's a question I hear all the time. Rachel, I have stuff all over my house. Where do I start? What do I choose to sort first? Well, rest assured, collectors, I will help you decide what exactly to start sorting first. If your house is completely chaotic and you have stuff everywhere, then it's actually kind of hard to figure out where to start. Listen to this episode at least once before you decide where to start. I personally love filing paperwork. However, this is not a good place for you to start. Do not start by tackling piles of paperwork. Start somewhere simple. Paperwork requires a lot of thought, a lot of effort, a lot of follow up, a lot of rhetoric. You've got to decide what needs to be shredded. Is your information getting out there? It really requires a lot of effort to go through large amounts of paperwork. So take a deep breath. We aren't going to start with paperwork. We aren't going to start with photos either. I know people have large amounts of photos or even media, but there's not really that much reward in volume. And again, you're bringing up memories. Some of them will be good, some of them will be bad. Then it'll remind you about the past and the present and the future. We're not going to start by sorting photographs or paperwork. Where we're going to start is somewhere easy. I even recommend starting with existing garbage or recycling. A lot of my hoarding clients are a little bit worried that maybe that garbage bag got some other stuff might have gotten mixed in there, which might actually be true. Something could have slipped in there in an avalanche and it is no longer garbage. No joke. So they hesitate in taking their garbage out. If you feel like your garbage may not be truly garbage, then this might be a wonderful place for you to start. Go ahead and start somewhere where you're going to make a big dent and where you set yourself up for success and where you can kind of ease into the anxiety of going through items and decluttering. You don't have to start fast and furious. You want to set yourself up for success.
Are you embarrassed and ashamed to have people over? Do you need expert advice on the tools you need to begin decluttering? Hoarding and chronic disorganization specialist Rachel Seavey offers one on one consultations for people who are ready to make a change. For more information, visit collectorcare.com.
Another place that I recommend starting is a garage or an attic. That's where we start a lot on our jobs. Perhaps you haven't been out there for about 5 or 10, sometimes 20 years. That's okay. that would be an awesome place for you to start. You have a lot less attachment to items that you haven't seen in this long that might be weathered than you do items that are on your dining room table right now. So, if you have a garage or an attic or a spare room that you don't spend a lot of time in, perhaps you want to go in there and fill up your to go through box with items from in there. Another easy area to start with is the kitchen. You might have not been in your kitchen for a while and things might be expired. So you might easily make some decisions to let things go if they're moldy or contaminated or expired. So don't worry about putting everything perfectly into the container. I do understand that items are not going to fit into the container, especially mine. I have a very small to go through box here. It's obviously not going to fit some of the items behind me that I'm going to be going through. So I'll just place them neatly next to the box to go through as well. It's okay, collectors, if your box is smaller than some of the items that you are choosing to go through. We want to start small and we want to make really good decisions. So go ahead and find a space in your home that you are okay with decluttering. This might be an area where you've had some art supplies that are pretty old and they probably aren't good anymore. This could be in the bathroom where you've got some makeup that's probably lived long past its shelf life. Start in an area and find things to sort that are going to be easy. You want to be able to give yourself a nice pat on the back and feel like you've actually accomplished going through items. Don't make it super hard on yourselves in the beginning. Once you have found an area that you are going to start sorting, it probably isn't right next to your sorting station like mine. So you're going to want to go ahead and take some time, take your to go through box, and start putting items in that you're okay with decluttering. Try and just scoop them into the box so that you don't get distracted. It's really easy to get distracted just filling up your to go through box. Some people like to put a bright colored poster board perhaps over the area that they're decluttering so that they know exactly what they're decluttering and they don't get distracted. I have clients that like to completely cover the rest of the items in the house that they're not decluttering and only expose the items where they're decluttering so they're not distracted by the other items. I don't want you to be distracted just in the process of finding a place and filling up your box. Take some time and put the items in the box. You don't want to be too perfectionistic about it. It's not Tetris. Everything doesn't have to be crammed in. Just place it all into your container so that you have a nice solid foundation of items to go through. As we work together, you'll notice that I'm going to start filling up my box with an area of items that I'm okay with going through because I'm here at my sorting station where I'll be sorting them just like you. I'm super excited. On our next episode, we are going to actually be going through all of my stuff together. And I get a chance to role play a little bit, which is kind of fun because I get to work with people who hoard and who are people who are disorganized every single day. And I have to say, I just love, love, love my job. I mean, there is so much emotion and attachment to items that you wouldn't believe. So I get to expose myself a little bit because I do have quite a bit of attachment to these items right behind me. This is my area that I am going to be sorting with you in our next episode. But for this episode, like I said, just choose a small area, an area that you're okay with decluttering, an area that doesn't cause you a ton of anxiety, and go ahead and fill up your to go through box. Okay, I am here. I've got my to go through box full of some items that I'm okay with decluttering from an area that doesn't cause me too much anxiety. The items that couldn't fit in the box that I still wanted to tackle, I just put right next to. Some of these items are completely miscellaneous. There's garbage, there's recycling, there are items that mean quite a bit to me. There's some food in there, there's some laundry. It's minutia, it's bric-a-brac, it's miscellaneous, it's a hodgepodge. It's pretty much like the stuff I go through with you. So I'm trying to make this as realistic as possible. I have my other three containers down here at my feet, which are my keep bag, my donate bag, and my important bag. And then I've also got my garbage bag and my recycling down here too, just in case I do come across those items. And I just want to note that as I came across garbage and recycling, I didn't throw it out. I just put it in my to go through box. I didn't get distracted. Nothing in here is perfectly placed in. Don't get hung up on perfectionism. We are just simply corralling items to go through. They don't need to be folded perfectly, they don't need to be wiped off. You don't need to get distracted going through them. Just put some items in your to go through container and join me on episode number 4. I'm super excited to be going through this box of all my stuff publicly with you so that you can see the kind of decisions that I would make on these items. And like I said, a lot of these items in here actually mean quite a bit to me. I didn't pick items that would cause me any sort of anxiety or emotional grief, but I did put some items in here that caused me to reflect for a moment. And then I will show you how to redirect yourself back and to continue decluttering so that you don't get distracted by shiny objects or objects that make you remember the good old days. So thank you so much, collectors, for listening to podcast number 3. You are now at your sorting station. You've got all your containers labeled, and now you are ready to sort. Stay tuned. Podcast number 4, and we will be going through this box together. Just remember, collectors, happiness is a place between too little and too much. Happiness is a place between too little and too much.
Thanks for tuning in to Hoardganize with Rachel Seavey. Listen every Sunday at 6 p.m. or watch on Collector Care's YouTube channel. Rachel is the owner of Collector Care Professional Organizers and Extreme Cleaners located in sunny Northern California. Her passion is helping those overwhelmed with clutter, and she regularly speaks to families, local agencies, and the public about chronic disorganization and hoarding disorder. Her popular Affirmations for Collectors download can be found on iTunes or Amazon. Sign up for her blog and receive 7 tips for clutter-free living at